Once again, very good evening. I would like to share two topics with you today. Two very new and very interesting topics. The first one is the roles played by vitamin K in health. And I'm going to tell you, sorry, which products contains vitamin K and why those products are so important to our health. So this is the first topic. The second topic is about beauty from inside out. If you one of those who are above 30 years old who find that applying the skincare products, the cosmetic, doesn't give you the desired result. So you got to think in a different way. Whether we should really to nourish our skin from inside through supplementing of self with some nutrients. So this is the two very important topics. I hope you could enjoy it. And through it, you can help more people to improve their health and also to improve their skin condition. So please first allow me to share my screen. Hmm. Now I can see that you can see my screen. If you can see my screen, please give me you can text one in the chat box so I'll know that you can see my screen clearly. Let me see. Do I have any feedback? Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Um, After my presentation, you can ask questions. You can either text your questions in the chat box, or you can simply unmute yourself and talk to me face to face. So the first one is roles of vitamin K in health. Well, our story begins not in a hospital, but in a chicken coop in 1929. A Danish scientist named Henrik Dam was studying cholesterol. He fed the chickens with fat-free diet, expecting them to get sick. Yes, the chicken did get sick, but not from cholesterol loss. The chicks developed strange, fatal bleeding under their skin. So Dan was puzzled. He knew vitamin A, vitamin C, and vitamin D existed, but this wasn't a deficiency of any of them. This was something new, a missing factor essential for clotting blood. So he called it vitamin K for the German word coagulation, because coagulation in German words, the first letter is K, not C. So over the next decade, a race was on to isolate this mystery vitamin. In 1939, after 10 years, then an American biochemist, Edward Doisy, independently cracked the code. They identified two natural forms, vitamin K1 from plants and vitamin K2 from bacteria. For this life-saving discovery, they shared the 1943 Nobel Prize in Medicine. But the story was just getting interesting. For decades, we thought vitamin K was just the clotting vitamin. But in the 1970s, the plot thickened again. Scientists discovered the vitamin K cycle, a complex a complex process that activated not just clotting factors, but other critical proteins. They found a protein in bone called osteocalcium that needs vitamin K to bind calcium, and another called GP that protects off arteries from hardening. Suddenly, vitamin K was linked to bone strength and heart health. So now we understand that vitamin K can do three things. Number one, clotting. Number two, bone health, strengthening the bones. And number three, to protect of arteries. And I also want to tell you another very interesting thing. Why a newborn needs a shot of vitamin K. Imagine you've just welcomed a perfect, healthy baby into the world. Everything seems fine, but inside that baby's body, there's a hidden problem, a natural deficiency that every single newborn is born with. I'm talking about the deficiency of vitamin K. As we learned from Hendrik Dahm's discovery in the 1920s, vitamin K is essential for blood clotting. Without it, a small cut or even a normal bruise can become a serious bleeding emergency. And here is the surprising truth. Newborns are born with almost none of vitamin K. Why? For three simple reasons. Number one, vitamin K doesn't travel well from mother to baby during pregnancy. Even if mom has plenty, very little can cross the placenta. And number two, a newborn's gut is sterile. It has no good bacteria yet. And those bacteria are what's normally produce a major form of vitamin K later in life. And number three, breast milk is amazing, but it's naturally very low in vitamin K. Formula, the formula, baby formula has added vitamin K, but breast milk does not. So without this crucial shot within the first 24 hours of life, infants are at severe risk of vitamin K deficiency, bleeding, which can lead to catastrophic internal bleeding, including the brain hemorrhage. So that is the raw life-saving power of vitamin K. It literally keeps our blood flowing safely. So this is why in the first 24 hours after, afterwards we were born, every baby was given a shot of vitamin K just to save their life. Now let's understand the vitamin K family. Before we go any further, we need to clear up some common confusion. Vitamin K is not just one single thing. It's a family of nutrients, and each member has a very different background and job description. First, we have vitamin K1 or phylloquinone. It is a plant-based it is in a plant-based form. So it is the form created through photosynthesis. When we talk about a fertilizer, everybody understands this term, photosynthesize. It means that the plant use the sunshine, the water and carbon dioxide to produce we call it biomass, something which we need. So that is why when we eat the plant, either we eat the root or we eat the seed. So we get the nutrients from the plants. It is primarily found in green leafy vegetables. And as we now know, the deeply concentrated in the skin of blueberries. So we get the vitamin K1 from kale, from spinach, and also from the blueberry and other berry families. Now, the next one is vitamin K2. Vitamin K2 has a name, menaquinones. It is found mainly in animal. So K2 is derived from animal sources and fermented food. It is further broken down into subcategories, mostly notably MK4 found in animal fats, and MK7 found in fermented products. MK7 is incredibly powerful because it stays active in our bloodstream for much longer time. Now, finally, there is vitamin K3, which is synthetic man-made form, mostly used, in animal feed and not something we are going to discuss for human dietary health. Our focus today is on how the natural forms, vitamin K1 and vitamin K2, dictate of well-being. So three of them, we only talk about two, K1 and K2. So why is vitamin K so important? Let's go back in history. The K actually stands for coagulation, the German words for blood clotting. English calculation, the first letter is C, but in German, the first letter is K. So the discovery of vitamin K's role in blood clotting was so monumental that it won the Nobel Prize in physiology and medicine in 1943. Vitamin K is essential for blood coagulation. Think about blood coagulation as the body's ultimate stop-loss mechanism. When you get a cut, your blood needs to rapidly change from a flowing liquid into a stable gel to stop the bleeding. It converts soluble fibrinogen into an insoluble fibrin net. So this is a brilliant survival mechanism. However, it requires absolute precision. If the blood doesn't clot, we risk severe bleeding. And if it clots inside the vessels when there is no injury, it creates dangerous thrombosis, leading to leading to heart attacks or stroke. So vitamin K serves as the master regulator of the delicate balance. So without vitamin K, we are going to run very high risk in health. Building on that survival mechanism we just discussed, let's look under the hood at how vitamin K actually masters this balance. Inside the liver, vitamin K acts as a critical biological switch. It is specially responsible for the chemical activation of four essential clotting factors: factor 2, factor 7, factor 9, and factor 10. Without vitamin K to turn them on, these proteins remain inactive and useless, leaving the body unable to defend ourselves. But the brilliance of this system lies in its efficiency, known as the vitamin K cycle, because our body only needs a teeny tiny amount of this nutrient. So it has developed a way to reuse it. As vitamin K activates these clotting factors, it flips between an oxidized and a reduced state, essentially recharging itself. So if you need it, it's activated. If we don't need it, it comes back. So this continuous cycle ensures that as long as our intake is sufficient, we have a constant, steady supply of activated proteins to maintain that perfect equilibrium, keeping our blood fluid in the vessels, yet ready to protect us the moment an injury occurs. So this internal recycling is what makes vitamin K one of the most efficient and vital tools in our biological toolkit. But preventing bleeding is just the bare minimum. Here, I want to introduce you to a groundbreaking concept by the renowned scientist, Dr. Bruce Amis. So you see this old man is Dr. Bruce Amis, called the triage theory of aging. Dr. Ames explained that when of intake of vitamin K is just average, the body makes a strict survival choice. It triages or redirects all the available vitamin K to the liver for blood clotting, because without clotting, we die immediately. So this is a short-term survival. But what is the cost? The cost is that the body starves your bones and your blood vessels of the vitamin K. Sorry, they need it for the long-term maintenance. So this is why you can have perfectly normal blood clotting, but still suffer from severe bone loss and arterial diseases as you age. To fight aging, we don't just need the minimum baseline of vitamin K, we need an abundance of it. So we need, let's say, plenty of vitamin K. So the minimum amount allow us to survive without bleeding. This is not enough. So if we want strong bones and we want healthy heart and arteries, we need more vitamin K. So moving back into our introduction, let's look at the current landscape of bone health. Bone is not a static structure. It is a dynamic living tissue that requires constant maintenance. Today, osteoporosis has become a global health crisis, often called a silent disease because it progresses without symptoms until a fracture occurs. We've been taught for decades that the answer is simply more calcium, or calcium and vitamin D. However, the reality is more complex. While calcium is essential, the body faces a major challenge: how to ensure that the calcium we ingest actually reaches the bones and doesn't end up elsewhere. This leads us to a critical question of physiological logistics. This brings us to a topic that is often overlooked in traditional nutrition lectures: the danger of misplaced calcium. If calcium does not enter the bone, it remains in the bloodstream, where it can be dangerous. It can settle into the walls of blood vessels, a process called vascular calcification. This hardening of the arteries is a major predictor of cardiovascular events. This is the heart of the problem. We take calcium supplements to save our bones, but without a biological director, that calcium may actually be slowly harming our hearts. We desperately need a traffic cop, a police. Now let's look at who is the traffic cop for calcium. Vitamin K's primary job outside the liver is to direct calcium into the bones where it belongs and keep it out of the arteries where it can be deadly. It acts as a precise molecular switch that turns on specific proteins responsible for capturing and holding calcium in the bone matrix. Without vitamin K, these proteins remain inactive and calcium floats away. Then I'm going to talk about two claws of vitamin K. The first claw is osteocalcium, produced by our bone building cells. It is born inactive. Vitamin K is the key that unlocks it. Once activated, osteocalcium literally grabs calcium from your blood and lock it permanently into your bone matrix, increasing the bone density. I want to let you know what happens if we don't have enough vitamin K. If you are deficient in vitamin K, the osteocalcium is produced, but it remains in its inactive form. And this inactive osteocalcium cannot bind to calcium. And the calcium you consume from your diet, even if you have plenty of vitamin D to absorb it, has no anchor. It cannot be integrated into the bone matrix. So they're all floating in your bloodstream. Well, we just talk about the danger that if they stick onto the arterial wall, it make the arterial wall hardened. We call it the artery calcification. The result, the calcium doesn't know where to go. It may stay in the bloodstream and in a dangerous process can be deposited in your blood vessels and soft tissues, even in the kidneys, leading to vascular calcification, which means the hardening of the arteries and kidney stones. Now let's talk about the second claw. The second claw is, the claw. The second claw is the matrix glycoprotein, or MGP. MGP is the guardian of your heart. Residing in your artery walls, it acts as a biological shield. When activated by vitamin K, MGP actively sweeps calcium out of the arteries, preventing it from crystallizing and keeping your blood vessels flexible and clear. Although it doesn't sound that simple. It is much complicated procedure, but we just understand this. That's all. It protects of arteries from calcification, from being hardened. Now let's look at the two claw number 1 and claw number 2. So what is the combination of the two claws? The crabs get two claws, right? When they get two claws, they can grab something, they can do a lot of things. So the first claw is osteocalcin. It is essential for bone remodeling, bone formation. And the second claw is the matrix glycoprotein, the MGP. It is essential for transporting the calcium out of the vessel walls to where it's supposed to be, not on the artery walls, but actually to the bones. So the result is when these two claws, they are working together, they can protect of hearts and arteries and strengthen of bones. But to do this, they have prerequisite. They requires vitamin K2 for sufficient activation. Now we understand this is very simple, but actually very complicated procedure. At this point, we must talk about the ultimate partnership, vitamin D3 and vitamin K2. Many people take vitamin D3 to help absorb calcium. Yes, that's true. And it works wonderfully. Vitamin D3 opens the door of your digestive tract, allowing the calcium to flood into your bloodstream. But vitamin D3's job stops there. If you take vitamin D3 without K2, you're putting thousands of cars on the highways without traffic cops. And the result is a massive traffic jam, leading straight to vascular calcification. D3 brings the calcium in. K2 puts the calcium where it belongs. So they are inseparable team for your health. If you want clinical proof of how powerful this is, look no further than the famous Rotterdam. Okay, Rotterdam is a city of Switzerland, right? So this is a very famous. If you check Rotterdam study online, you're going to get a lot of information about this study. So this is a massive epidemiological study tracking nearly 5,000 participants over 10 years. The result was staggering. The data showed that the population with the highest dietary intake of vitamin K2 had a 52% lower risk of severe aortic calcification, means the calcification of the arteries. I think somebody's phone is okay. You're unmuted. Thank you for your cooperation. So, okay, let me repeat this. The result, let's not focus on how they did this study, but the result was very interesting and staggering. The data show that the population with the highest dietary intake of vitamin K2 had a 52% lower risk of severe aortic calcification, means the calcification of the arteries, and a 57% lower risk of dying from cardiovascular disease. So this is some of the strongest clinical evidence in modern science proving that vitamin K2 is a literal lifesaver for of heart. So do we need calcium and vitamin D? Yes, definitely, because we want strong bones. But if you want to protect your heart when you're taking the food supplement of calcium and vitamin D3, you must take vitamin K2. So let's take a brief look at the official global dietary recommendations for these crucial nutrients. Currently, leading health organizations, including the U.S. National Academy of Medicine, do not distinguish between vitamin K1 and K2 in their guidelines, so both are simply counted together as total vitamin K. Because there is not yet enough data to establish a standard recommended dietary allowance, RDA. So these organizations use what we call adequate intakes, or AIS, which are amounts deemed sufficient to maintain good health. So the targets vary slightly depending on where you live. In the United States, the adequate intake is set at 90 micrograms per day for adult women, and 100 micrograms per day for adult men. Across the European Union, the target is 70 microgram per day for adults. Meanwhile, Japan has set its adequate intakes at 65 micrograms for women and 75 micrograms for men. To help consumers meet these goals, the US actually revised the daily value on food and supplement labels upwards to 120 micrograms to match the highest adequate intake value. So this ensures labeling aligns with the highest recommended adequate intake. But here is perhaps the most important takeaway for our distributors regarding safety. The health authorities in the United States, the European Union, and Japan have all reviewed the safety data and concluded that vitamin K has no established upper limits. There's simply insufficient evidence of adverse effects from high doses. This remarkable safety profile means we can confidently focus on bridging the nutritional gap of consumers without the fear of overconsumption. It is not like the fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin A that, you have to watch the limit. Even calcium has a limit. It's not supposed to be above 2,000, milligrams per day. And also there's a limit for vitamin C. It's not supposed to be over 5 grams or 5,000 milligrams per day. But so far, for vitamin K, we don't see any adverse effect on these vitamins. So as we look at these numbers, remember that while the guidelines group vitamin K1 and K2 together of advanced understanding of how the body uses K1 from blueberries and MK7 from gut fermentation puts us a step ahead in optimizing cardiovascular and skeletal health. So please make sure that You're muted. Otherwise, you can disturb us. Okay, thank you very much for your cooperation. Now, let's talk about uh now we talk about how many vitamin K we need every day. Now let's look at from what food that we can get the vitamin K1. So now let's look at the dietary sources of vitamin K1. Now that we know we need it, but where do we get it? As we discussed, dietary intake is a primary source. Vitamin K1 is abundant in dark green leafy vegetables, kale, spinach, and broccoli. But among fruits, blueberries are the fantastic source, providing about 20 micrograms per 100 grams of fruit. Other good fruit sources include kiwi and avocado. Because K1 is uh, fat soluble, consuming this with a little bit of healthy fat like olive oil or a handful of nuts dramatically increase your body's ability to absorb it. So next time, when we eat kale or broccolis or cabbage or Brussels, let's add a little bit olive oil to help us to absorb vitamin K1. Now let's talk about vitamin K2. From what food we get vitamin K2? Vitamin K2, on the other hand, is much harder to find in the standard Western diet. It is hidden in fermented food and high-quality animal products like grass-fed butter, certain aged cheese like Gouda, and organ meats contain MK4, but the absolute king of vitamin K2, specifically the highly bioavailable MK7 form, is a traditional Japanese fermented soya bean dish called natto. I don't know whether you know this food. Actually, I tried this food called natto. First of all, it's expensive. It's only sold in some very prestigious supermarkets. You can't get this food everywhere. And secondly, it smells terrible. It smells like, your feet, your dirty feet, and it tastes awful. Yes, it is soybeans, but it is far worse than soybeans because it's fermented. So it has a very funny and weird smell and taste. To be very frank, I know it's healthy, but I don't like it. So natto has this weird smell and funny taste due to its fermentation process. So if you don't like it, try the alternative Greenwood products. Now I give you some of the, food here. So, if you don't get the natto from your supermarket or from your delicacies stores, then you try Greenwood products. Compound calcium series, including compound calcium nutrient powder, compound calcium nutrient powder with the blood sugar support, and the compound calcium nutrient powder for children, are enriched with vitamin K. The key ingredients of compound marrow powder, bovine marrow, is also rich in vitamin K. So these two series, the compound calcium series and the compound marrow powder, they're very good products for supplementing vitamin K. And besides, since blueberry contains gut-friendly nutrient, blueberry series, especially blueberry super nutrition, is also a good product for supplementing vitamin K. So now let me talk about uh, those products. And before that, I want to show you a list of different kind of food. So this is the food sources for vitamin K and vitamin K2. Animal sources. Do you eat goose? I don't eat. So if we compare chicken, pork, beef, even salmon, we can see that goose meat contains high amount of vitamin K2. and also egg yolk. But we all understand that, we are not supposed to eat too many eggs. I think, 2 eggs per day is pretty good enough. If you eat more eggs, you need to concern about, the cholesterol intake. And also milk, a butter. And some of the cheese contains a little bit um, vitamin K too. So still, you can see nano contains 1,103, micrograms of vitamin MK7. Wow, this is awesome. Unless you can have excess of it or you really enjoy its flavor. Sometimes I buy this fruit. I think every 3 months, I buy some of this. I close my nose when I eat this. I eat this together with other food. Otherwise, it smells terrible. Okay, now let's talk about our products. So the first series is the compound calcium series. Greenwood Compound Calcium series are enriched with vitamin K, making this line of products an ideal bone supporter, free of risk in cardiovascular system and the urinary system. So now let me put it this way. If you recommend products to young people that you want to help them to build the bone matrix, the the bone mass, because we are supposed to reach the bone max before 25, or let me put it this way, 25 to 30 years. So if these are young people, you can just give them calcium capsule, calcium tablets. This is pretty good enough. But mind if your customers are above 35, especially 40 years old, they are middle-aged adults, then you're not supposed to only give them the calcium tablets or calcium capsule. You would rather go for compound calcium series, especially for those who have the high blood sugar level. That you give them the compound calcium with the blood sugar support. Okay, now let's talk about compound marrow powder. MK4 is the dominant form. So the study found that the menaquinone MK4 is the primary type of vitamin K2 in bone marrow with a concentration of 341 nanogram per gram. So this is consistent with other research showing that MK4 is the main form of vitamin K2 found in animal tissues. This explains why compound marrow powder is more effective and safer for aged consumers who run higher risk of arter, uh, atherosclerosis. So this is another product. Now I want to talk about the blueberry series, especially the blueberry super nutrition. This brings us to the grand synthesis and why blueberries are so much more than just a source of K1. You might be thinking, okay, blueberry is rich in K1, but I really need K2 for my heart and bones. Here is the brilliant synergy of the human body and the blueberry. Well, blueberries contain K1. They are also rich in powerful dietary fiber and antioxidant. Why does this matter? Because your gastrointestinal tract is your own internal fermentation factory. A healthy gut microbiome contains probiotics that can actually synthesize MK7 right inside your body. Sorry, let me. Sorry, make sure that you're muted when you come to this platform. Now, let me repeat this. This is very important. Blueberry doesn't contain vitamin K2. It contains K1. But the point is why we need blueberries. Because the blueberries feed the good bacteria in your gut. So the good bacteria in your gut produce the MK7, the most active forms of K2 for you. Okay, here's a catch. Modern diet Stress and the overuse of antibodies have devastated of the microbiomes. We suffer from dysbiosis and imbalance of gut flora. So this is where blueberries act as the ultimate gut healers. The antioxidant protects the delicate intestinal epithelial cells from inflammation, while the specific prebiotic fibers, the fructooligosaccharides in blueberry super nutrition, feed the good bacteria. So for distributors and health advocates here today, it is crucial to understand and to educate your customers that rebuilding a damaged gut is not an overnight fix. Scientifically speaking, it is a process of ecological restoration. In clinical literature, we see that restoring the microbiome happens in distinct phases. In the short term, introducing powerful prebiotics like the complex polyphenols and fibers found in blueberries, alongside quality probiotics, can rapidly modulate the gut environment. Within just days to a few weeks, these nutrients begin shifting the metabolic output of the gut, immediately feeding the bacteria, the beneficial bacteria that have been starving. However, for individuals with chronic dysbiosis, especially those with a history of frequent antibiotic use for long-term consumptions of highly processed diet, true ecological stabilization takes much longer. Scientific consensus shows that re-establishing a robust, diverse microbiome and structurally repairing the intestinal epithelial barrier requires continuous, consistent dietary intervention. So this deeper healing phase can take anywhere from several weeks to several months. So if you want to repair your gut and let your own body to produce vitamin K2, it takes, let's see, 3 months to 6 months to restore your microbiome in your gut. So your role is to guide your customers through this biological journey. You're not just offering a quick supplement, you're offering the daily microbiome fertilizer needed to reconstruct their internal ecosystem. By encouraging consistent long-term consumption of blueberry products, you're providing the body with the exact tools it needs to permanently rebuild its own internal factory and ultimately restore its natural ability to synthesize life-saving nutrients like vitamin K2. We all need vitamin K, but specific groups need constant dietary supplement of this vitamin. There are people with malabsorption issues, like those people with celiac disease, Crohn's disease, cystic fibrosis, or post-gastric bypass. And also people who use antibiotics for long-term, then they gut bacteria, produce some of the vitamin K2. And also those people who are blood thinner. One of the blood thinner is warfarin. So this warfarin is not make the vitamin K2 deficient, but antagonize, it counteract with vitamin K2. And also old adults, they often have very low K2 intake, contributing to osteoporosis and arterial calcification. So remember, vitamin K directly counteracts warfarin. This is a blood thinner. So keep vitamin K intake consistent day to day and do not suddenly increase or suddenly decrease the vitamin K2 supplement. So if you are on newer blood thinners, the new generation of blood thinners, like the apixaban or the rivaroxaban, so they're not affected by vitamin K. So you must ask your doctors, because some people are on blood thinner. So if you have high blood viscosity, high cholesterol, or you undergo surgery, especially the heart surgery, the valves of the heart, or any other type of the surgeries, and transplantation of organs, that you will be on the blood thinners throughout your life. Then you ask what type of blood thinners your doctor gave it to you, prescribed to you, so you'll know whether you should supplement vitamin K2 or not. Okay, I'm going to end the first topic. So my question is, do you have questions? Do we have vitamin K in Africa? Yes, of course, I just talk about, three products or three lines of products. Number one is the calcium compound series. Yes, you do have, and compound marrow powder. And also, yes, you have compound marrow powder. And also, the what I call the blueberry super nutrition. Most of the companies have the blueberry super nutrition, right? Okay. So thank you very much for this. Do we have any questions for the vitamin K2? When given hypertensive medication, vitamin K is depleted to control blood clots. So what can the solution? Okay, when you are on the hypertensive medication, then you are supposed to take one of our products. I think the blueberry at this, when this happens, is the best products that you need, especially blueberry super nutrition. Okay, all right. So thank you very much. Now, okay, if you want to raise your hand, uh, okay, I see two. Raise your hand. Madam Face and Mr. Apostle, Joseph. Okay, um, Madam Face, you can unmute yourself. Joseph.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
I just want to. There are people who are taking that.
Ma'am, please, you got to switch off one of the devices. It sounds like two devices are on. So that is why we have the echo one. You switch off one.
No, I've got only one.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to ask whether for one to take calcium, and then you add vitamin K, blueberry from Greek gold. They're going to be antagonistic.
Okay, very good. Very good question. So if you want to recommend calcium plus blueberry, it works. You can give calcium and blueberry super nutrition, or calcium plus blueberry probiotics. If it is available in your market. I'm going to talk about the blueberry probiotics at the second episode, when I'm talking about the beauty from inside out. At the second episode, when I'm talking about the beauty from inside out. Okay, thank you. Miss Joseph Apostle?
Yes, Madam Lenny. Good day, morning, Greenwood.
Good morning.
Right. Thank you so much. I just wanted to ask a question whether the probiotic has vitamin K, because I know it's one of the product that repairs our gut after taking antibiotics. So, and that's why I was I have heard you mention that you will explain more about probiotics, but I thought of that because of whether probiotics has vitamin K. Because I know the probiotics is one of the product that we give people to make sure that we are repairing their gut as a result of taking too much of antibiotic. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for this question, Mr. Joseph. It is not enriched with vitamin K, but it contains blueberry. And I think, during my presentation, I make it clear that blueberry doesn't contain vitamin K2. It contains vitamin K1. But definitely we need vitamin K2, especially the active form, which is the MK7. But the blueberry does one wonderful job is, it feeds the good bacteria in our gut. So after we eat the blueberry products, especially blueberry probiotics, so we plant the seed, and also after that we give the fertilizer, and then the soil is of gut. So after that we grow the good bacteria in our guts, and then we rely the good bacteria to produce the vitamin K2, the MK7 form. But it takes time, just like, after you sow, it takes months for your seeds to grow, the seedlings, and then grow, you can cultivate. So it needs normally 3 to 6 months for you to do that. So thank you very much. And immediately after this, I'm going to talk about the blueberry probiotics, but I put it in a different, the topics. Now this topic is not about vitamin K, it's about beauty, but definitely these two things are connected. That is why I said beauty from inside out. So if you're young, if you're at your 20s, actually your beauty is natural. You're at the peak of your beauty. And then, you only need a little bit of skincare. But, I'm going to talk about this after you are over 35 years old, especially women. We realize that, the the biggest problem for us is, the aged we are, the older we grow, the more expensive skincare we buy, the more money we invest in our skin. But actually, when you reach my age, you'll realize that, even you pay, you buy thousands RMB, that is, let's see, you buy some very expensive skincare at even 200 US dollars per bottle. Still, you don't get the good result you desire. Why? This is the time that you should understand that, the beauty is from inside out. If you want good skin, young complexion, you really need to do it from different aspects of your health. Okay, so immediately I'm going to share this with you. So thank you very much for your question. And after my second presentation, I think, we can discuss this more. So let me share about the second.
Thank you so much, Madam Lenny. I have understood. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Let me share this with you. Okay, the beauty from inside out. Okay. Last month, actually, I submit because, we are going to have a great event in Canada, right? We celebrate of success. So we invited the high-ranked distributors. So, I was honored to be invited as the MC. So last month I submitted my visa application documents to the Canadian Embassy while organizing my paperwork, because I put all this visa application paperwork together. Then I came across two old photos. One from my 2013 US visa application, and another from my 2019 Nigerian visa application. The photos I compare. Looking at them side by side with my current reflection, Actually, I noticed the striking changes in my faces. My jaw lines had widened, and the wrinkles between my nose and the corners of my mouth had deepened, and the fine line now crowded around my eyes. And I couldn't help but ask myself, when did all this happen? I think you also have the same experience. So every day you look you look into the mirror and you didn't notice big difference because you are almost the same uh from yesterday. But if you put your photos together, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, then immediately you see the difference. Okay, the answer of this question is exactly why we're here today, because skin aging isn't just about looking old, it's biology, it's environment. And the good news, a lot of it is understandable, predictable, and is in some ways influenced by us. So for decades, the skincare industries has focused almost exclusively on what we can apply onto the skin. Toners, creams, serums, essence, lotions, you name it. So, well, those are undoubtedly important because we also have Smile Life, Blueberry Rejuvenating Skincare Series. Yet, modern dermatological science is undergoing a massive paradigm shift. We are now looking inward. We are discovering that true skin resilience, radiant health, and effective aging management begin deep within of bodies, specifically within of digestive system. So that today we'll dive deep into how the things we ingest, particularly potent botanical extracts like the blueberries fundamentally shape the health, structure, and appearance of our skin from the inside out. Now, to give you a clear roadmap of discussion today, let's briefly look at the main categories or main contents I'm going to share with you. First, the primary structure of the skin, the external stressors. What is the skin afraid of? And the skin microbiome, the gut-skin axis, and holistic skincare, combining internal and external strategies. Okay, so this is what we are going to focus on today. So first of all, let's begin by looking at the primary structure of the skin. It helps to think of the skin not just as a covering, but as a complex three-layer fortress designed to protect of internal organs from a harsh external world. Number one, on the very surface, we have the epidermis, the outlayer. So this is the physical barrier, the brick and mortar wall that keeps moisture in and harmful pathogens out. So this is, epidermis is this layer, the pink layer. And then beneath that lies the dermis, the middle layer. So this is the structural foundation of the skin. It houses the collagen that gives skin its firmness, the elastin that provides its snap, and the blood vessels that deliver the oxygens. So this is the dermis, even sweat glands. So the blue layers is the middle layer, the dermis. And then finally, we have the deep layer known as the hypodermis or subcutaneous fat. So this layer acts as a body's insulation, providing a cushioning effect and storing energy. Now, what you see is the yellow one, fat, a lot of fat. When we talk about anti-aging and skincare, we are ultimately talking about protecting and preserving the integrity of all three of these layers simultaneously. The epidermis, the dermis, and the subcutaneous layer. Now, however, this three layers fortress is constantly under siege. So in dermatology, we use the term exposum to describe the totality of all the environmental stressors of skin is subjected to daily. So it is relentless 24/7 assault. So number one, the most obvious stressor is the UV radiation from the sun, which degrades the collagen and damage cellular DNA. Number two, but in a modern world, the exposum includes so much more. It includes urban pollution, the particulate matter that settles into the pores and triggers oxidative stress. Number three, it includes extreme climate fluctuations from freezing wind to dry indoor heating that strips the skin of its natural moisture. Number four, furthermore, lifestyle factors play a massive role. Sleep deprivation disrupts the skin's natural overnight repair cycle. For example, now, I'm supposed to be sleeping now, but I'm still awake and, share with you. So actually tomorrow morning, the first thing I've got to do after I wake up is to wear my mask, to give some more moisture and help to repair of my skin because, I failed to repair my skin throughout the night. So number five, while a poor diet high in refined sugar leads to, the glycation, a process where sugar molecules literally stiffen off collagen. So actually, let me put it, this is very important. We know that we understand that the sugar bind with the hemoglobin, the red blood cells. That is one of the indicator of the type 2 diabetes. So the doctor check of fasting blood sugar level, the 2 hours after we eating a meal, and then, also the hemoglobin H1 too. So actually, the sugar doesn't only bind with the hemoglobin, it binds with a lot of things. It also binds with the collagen, which is the main supporter of skin, which make of skin elastic and firm. So if it is bind with sugar, then we lose the elasticity and firmness. So this makes of skin sag. And finally, the psychological stress spikes of cortisol levels, which compromise the skin barrier and triggers sensitivity. So our skin is fighting a multi-front war every single day. So this is the stressors of our skin. Now, I think this is very familiar with us, the signs of skin aging. So when these external and internal stressors begin to overwhelm of skin's natural defense mechanism, the fortress wall start to crack. This is when we begin to see the visible sign of skin aging. So these signs are all too familiar to many of us, and they're directly linked to the structural breakdown we just discussed. We begin to notice enlarged pores as the skin loses its elasticity around the follicle. We see the formation of the lines and the wrinkles as the collagen matrix in the dermis begin to free and collapse. And the skin takes on an overall dullness, losing its useful translucency, and the texture may become rough and sickened as cellular turnover slows down. We also see uneven pigmentation or sunspot as our pigment producing cells go into the overdrive trying to protect us. Ultimately, this culminates in a loss of firmness and sagging skin as gravity takes hold of a weakened dermal structure. So this is the signs of skin aging. Of all the stressors we mentioned, one is, let me put it here. One is responsible for the vast majority of visible aging, photoaging. As the largest organ of the human body, the skin serves as of absolute primary line of defense against the external environment. To understand exactly how this damage occurs, we need to break down the ultraviolet spectrum into three distinct categories: UVC, UVA, and UVB. First, UVC. So let me see whether we can. Yes, I think this is better. UVC. These rays have the shortest wavelengths. Fortunately for us, they are almost entirely absorbed by the ozone layers of the atmosphere before reaching the surface of the planet. So this is not we are supposed to concern, but this is a killing. Now, let's look at UVB. UVB, we call it the burn rays. UVB rays have a medium wavelength that primarily impacts the outer layer of our skin, the epidermis. So they are the main culprits behind direct DNA damage and the acute inflammatory response we know as sunburn. So when we talk about sunburn, we know that it is done by UVB. Categorized by immediate redness, pain, and swelling. While dangerous, UVB rays can be effectively blocked by standard window glass. So, the glass can block the UVB. And also, if you wear the sun lotion, sun protector, if you expose yourself in outdoors, also it can protect you in certain in certain levels. Now, let's look at the UVA. We call it the aging rays. So now from this name, we understand that the skin aging is mainly caused by UVA rays. UVA rays have the longest wavelengths and account for the vast majority of UV radiation reaching of skin. Because of their lengths, they easily penetrate clouds and glass, reaching deep into the dermis, the third layer, the second layer, the dermis. And this chronic exposure fundamentally alters the skin's biology. It spikes reactive oxygen species and drives the severe oxidative stress, leading to the steady degradation of collagen, the fragmentation of the elastic fibers, and an even deposition of pigment. Remember, the elastin and the collagen are in the second layer, the dermis layer. So that is why it can cause the skin sagging. Now, let's give you a very famous, you can get this online. If you check it online, you definitely get the whole story. So this is a photo that's very well known from the New England Journal of Medicine 2012. So to truly illustrate the profound physical impacts of UV rays, I want to share a famous and striking case study published in the New England Journal of Medicine in 2012. So this is a photograph of a 69-year-old man who worked as a delivery truck driver. So take a close look at the two sides of his face. So you notice the left side of his face showed severe deep wrinkling, thickening, and sagging. Why? Because for the 28 years, the left side of his face was exposed to the sun through his driver's side window, while the glass of the window successfully blocked most of the sunburn causing UVB rays, but it allowed the deeper penetrating UVA rays to pass right through the window. So over nearly 3 decades, those UVA rays systematically destroyed the elastic fibers in his dermis on just one side of his face. So this condition is called unilateral dermatohaliosis. Unilateral means one side. It means that one side of the skin, one side of the face is destroyed. So it is the most powerful visual proof we have that cumulative sun damage is silently reshaping of skin, even when we don't feel a burn. Then this brings us to an important distinction we must take when we discuss, let's put it here, when we discuss the sun damage. There are two representative UV-induced skin conditions, and they behave very differently. First, we have the UV dermatitis, which is acute inflammatory response. So this is what happens when you spend the whole day at the beach without protection. So it is an immediate acute reaction to overexposure, characterized by redness, pain, and swelling, what we all know as a sunburn. Your body recognizes this damage instantly and sounds the alarm. However, the second condition is photoaging, which is a chronic, cumulative damage. So this is a silent enemy. It results in long-term structural and functional impairment. It is driven by complex underlying mechanisms: oxidative stress, chronic inflammation, and the activation of the neurosensory pathways that break down collagen over the years, because it happens so slowly and silently. Mitigating photoaging is a core concern and primary focus for the entire anti-aging and cosmetic industry today. Okay, that chronic, silent damage introduces a concept that is revolutionizing how we view skincare and longevity: the inflammaging. We give you a new term, inflammaging. So it means the aging caused by inflammation. By definition, inflammaging is a chronic, low-grade inflammatory state lurking deep within the skin's tissues. So thinking of it like a smoldering fire. If you sprain your ankle, you experience acute inflammation. It swells, it hurts, but eventually the fire goes out and it heals. Inflammaging is different. It is a fire that never quite goes out. It sits in the background, constantly releasing enzymes that slowly melt away of collagen and elastin. So it acts as a primary catalyst that drives and aggressively accelerates the aging of skin tissue. This destructive process is fueled by dual pathways: intrinsic factors, which are just a part of natural biological aging, as our immune system becomes less effective, and extrinsic factors, primarily the UV radiation and the environmental stressors we just have discussed. Now, how do we defend of skin's fortress? From the outside, the advice is clear. You must use the broad spectrum sunscreen every single day. Now we do have a sun lotion. We have already brought this in the Western African market. Very soon you're going to receive the videos. And by the way, we have finished 8 videos recently. We have the videos of the blueberry coffee, the blueberry coffee, the Ganoderma coffee, the blueberry cocoa, and Ganoderma cocoa, and also a combination of 7 coffees, the whole lines of coffee, 7 different type of coffees. And also we have the videos of the tourmaline, soap and olive soap. And then we also have videos of the toothpaste, 4 different type of toothpaste: the herb toothpaste, the tourmaline white toothpaste, the tourmaline black toothpaste, and the Smile Life toothpaste. So I hope you receive the videos. It definitely they can help you to promote those products. Okay, sorry, let's come back. So from outside, you must wear a broad spectrum sunscreen every single day. We do have this sun lotion, SPF 50. It's very good, that can protect your skin against the UV rays. So this is critical keywords because it ensures the products protects against both the UVB rays that burns and the deeply penetrating UVA rays that age. So consistent reapplication is vital alongside physical barriers like the white-brimmed hats and UV protective clothing. In China, I'm wearing the UV protective clothes in the summertime. Okay, but here is a critical limitation we must acknowledge. No topical sunscreen blocks 100% of UV radiation. Some oxidative stress still inevitably occur. This is exactly why we must embrace an inside-out holistic strategy by ensuring our bodies are rich in, a potent antioxidant like the plant polyphenols we're discussing today. We build a secondary, internal defense system. So this internal nutritional antioxidant help neutralize the free radicals generated by the UV rays that manage to slip past of external shield, protecting of collagen and preserving of skin health from within. That is from the blueberry. Okay, now so how does our body naturally defend against the constant barrage of the stressors and this smoldering inflammation? So the answer lies in an invisible shield, the skin microbiome. We are not just human. We are a walking ecosystem. The skin microbiome refers to the collective examples of all microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, and viruses that live on our skin surface, along with their genetic information and functional capabilities. But it is more than just a list of bugs. It encompasses not only the microbes themselves, but also the complex, interactive, and evolutionary relationships between these microorganisms, the host, and the environment. So when we are healthy, the mutual interaction and regulation among the three elements establish a highly stable and balanced state. So these microbes are not the hitchhikers. They're an essential part of skin's defense force. Okay, now to truly understand the microbiome, we have to look at the different environments within our own bodies. The microbial landscape of the skin is vastly different from the microbial landscape of our gut. Now, to the left is the skin, to the right side is the gut. So think of skin as a harsh desert. It is characterized as a dry, high salt, high lipid, nutrient poor, and slightly acidic aerobic environment. So this is a tough place for microbes to survive, meaning only highly specialized bacteria can thrive there, forming a unique protective crust. In stark contrast, think of the gut, specifically the colon, as a lush rainforest. It is characterized as a moist, low-salt, nutrient-rich, neutral pH, and anaerobic. Anaerobic means oxygen-free environment. So it teems with trillions of bacteria. For a long time, science treated these two environments as completely separate. But as we soon see, the desert and the rainforest are in contrast, vital communication with one another. So actually the desert, the skin, and the rainforest, the gut, they communicate one another. As we transition from understanding these harsh environmental differences between the skin and the gut, a fascinating 2022 review published in the journal Science provides a profound perspective on how our skin actually defends itself in such an extreme landscape. Our skin is the body's ultimate outermost line of defense, safely encapsulating of muscles, blood vessels, nerves, and bones. So to do this effectively, it utilizes a sophisticated system composed of 4 distinctive barriers. Number 1, the physical barrier. which act much like a it said the brick and mortar barrier, providing the fortress-like structural protection against the outside world. The second is the chemical barrier. It's, for example, the phospholipid membrane within of skin effectively repel water and prevent essential internal moisture from escaping. And the third is the immune barrier, where specialized immune cells stand guard to react to external threats, providing a highly responsive systemic defense for our body. And the fourth, which brings us to main focus today, that is microbial barrier, composed of the native residents living on skin surface. We said the viruses, the bacteria, and the fungi. So what this science paper emphasizes is that these microbiomes are not just freeloaders taking up space. They are microscopic soldiers. They actively work to reinforce the other three barriers. They occupy physical territory to prevent harmful pathogens from invading, acting as an extension of the physical barrier. So the secret enzymes that convert of natural sebum into the ceramides, this is a phenomenal moisturizing component that strengthens the chemical barrier. They even train of immune cells, ensuring of skin's immune barrier reacts much more swiftly and effectively when danger strikes. So these four barriers are very, very important. However, this delicate microbial balance is incredibly easy to disrupt. In our modern world, there are three primary factors influencing the health of a skin microbiome. First, lifestyle factors. This is a major one. It includes of use of harsh alkaline skincare products that strip the acidic metal, the overuse of antibiotics and medication, of modern hygiene habits. We often overwash of skin, of diet, and of social physical environment. And second, systemic host factors. This refers to the body's internal states, including age, hormonal levels, genetic variation, and immune system function. Believe me, tomorrow morning, okay, let me finish this. So this is actually includes of genetic variation and the overall function of immune system, all delicate. Actually they predict what kind of microbes can survive on our skin. Believe me, if I sleep the whole night, early tomorrow morning, I see my skin is okay. But, tomorrow morning after I do this, I will see that my skin becomes dull and very dry. So that's why I said that, after each training presentation, early in the morning, the first thing I'm going to do is, after washing my face, I apply, the mask, facial mask on my skin to try to save my skin. Okay, the third is environmental factors. Once again, the exposure plays a role. UV radiation, climate change, and urban pollution can directly kill off bacteria, skin flora. When this balance is disrupted, the skin becomes vulnerable to inflammation, breakouts, and accelerated aging. So if of skin's external shield is so easily disrupted by the environment, how do we reinforce it? So this leads us to one of the most exciting breakthroughs in modern dermatology, the gut-skin axis. So we now know that the gut and the skin are intimately connected via a complex biological telegraph system. First, we must accept a new reality. Beyond the surface, skin issues are not merely skin deep. So whether it is a premature aging, dullness, or sensitivity, these issues are deeply rooted in our internal physiology. So this happens through systemic interaction. The trillions of microbes in our gut the enough gut rainforest consume the food we eat and produce metabolites. One of the most important group of metabolites are short-chain fatty acids. So this short-chain fatty acid enter our bloodstream, travels through the body, and interact dynamically with the systemic immune system, acting as powerful anti-inflammatory signals that ultimately reach the skin. We see this proven in clinical, correlation. So many challenging skin conditions, including psoriasis, rosacea, and atopic dermatitis, are frequently associated with gut microbiotics dysbiosis, which simply means an imbalance of the good and bad bacteria in the digestive tract. So if we heal the gut, and you frequently soothe the skin. So that is why also it explains why those people with chronic constipation, they also have the dull skin. Now let's talk about the fuel that powers this entire system: plant polyphenols. Plant polyphenols are abundant in many fruits and vegetables, particularly in dark-colored berries like blueberry, blackberry, raspberry, cranberry, acid berry. And here is the fascinating part about their journey through our bodies. So these complex molecules are actually very difficult for our stomach and small intestine to digest and absorb completely. Now, if I stop here, a lot of people get completely confused. So you said the good things, the nutrients in blueberries cannot be easily absorbed. Then why we buy the blueberry products and why we consume those products? Okay, however, this is not a flaw. It is a biological advance because they aren't absorbed early on. These polyphenols travel all the way down to your large intestine. So once they arrive, they become the absolute favorite super meal for of beneficial gut probiotics. So when of good bacteria feast on these polyphenols, two incredible things happen. First, the probiotics rapidly multiply and thrive, dramatically increases of microbiota diversity. Second, as they break down this super meal, they produce highly active metabolites, the specifically short-chain fatty acid. This newly created metabolites then enter our bloodstream and deliver profound positive anti-inflammatory effect throughout the entire body, reaching all the way to our skin. Okay, Blueberry Series is the flagship product of Greenworld. Blueberries are not just a healthy snack. Biologically, they are complex chemical factories. So as this diagram shows, they're packed with a remarkably diverse areas of main polyphenol classes and structures. They contain flavonoids, proanthocyanidins, anthocyanins, and allergy tannins. They contain hydroxycinnamic and hydroxybenzoic acid. So why does this chemical diversity matters? Because each of these polyphenol structures behaves differently in the body. Some stays in the gut to feed the microbiome. Some are absorbed directly to fight free radicals, and some are transformed into entirely new protective molecules. They are the ultimate multi-tool for systemic health. Okay, so this allows us to leverage blueberries for a true inside-out holistic strategy. So let's break down exactly how this works scientifically. Number one, core active compounds. The power of blueberry lies in its polyphenols, specifically the anthocyanins and the flavonoids are the primary drivers of the blueberries' biological activity. These compounds provide potent antioxidant defense, neutralize free radicals at the cellular level. Also, they deliver the multi-modal biological benefits. They are anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, and actually, they adjust of immune system to maintain the skin homeostasis. And number two, the gut-skin axis. But the true magic happens in the gut, providing systemic benefits via the microbiota. So through a process called the microbial transformation of gut bacteria eats these complex blueberry polyphenols and process them through chemical reactions and breaks the large polyphenols down into smaller, low molecular weight active metabolites, drastically increase their bioavailability and absorption into the bloodstream. Once absorbed, they offer profound circulatory protection. Clinical studies show that post-consumption of blueberries, 58 distinct protective metabolites surge in the bloodstream, traveling to the skin to provide a deep tissue defense that topical creams simply cannot reach. Number three, the synergistic vitamin complex. Finally, nature packs these polyphenols perfectly. Blueberries contain a systemic vitamin complex, so they provide vitamin C and vitamin E, which are the fundamental antioxidants dual required for protecting skin tissues and building new collagen. They also provide natural precursors to retinol, which is vitamin A. This is a gold standard nutrient which proven efficacy for skin repair and maintaining physiological health. So you can see that not only so many kind of polyphenols, but together with vitamins and minerals, they form a team to protect of skin and repair of skin, not only protects. Okay, now Greenwood products may help you achieve the beauty from the inside out. The Blueberry Rejuvenating Series includes a complete line of skincare, the facial cleanser, toner, lotion, essence, moisturizer, and eye cream. So this series guides you through a full skincare routine from gently cleansing. First, you cleanse your skin with, the facial cleanser, and then you apply the toner to build a tunnel for all the other nutrients to penetrate into your skin. And after apply the toner, you apply the eye cream, and after that you apply the lotion, the essence. And after you apply the essence, it goes deeper into your dermis, and you can wear the moisturizer. So this is the complete procedure of the skincare. So by doing this, you actually allow all the nutrients penetrate deep into the dermis layer. So the result, the skin feels soft, looks smooth, and regain its natural elasticity. Now let's look at another product, which Mr. Joseph just has asked about, the Blueberry Probiotics. Blueberry Probiotics is the ideal products to help you connect your gut health with your skin barrier, supporting beauty from the inside out. It offers the following key benefits. Rich in diverse probiotic strains, including the Streptococcus, Haemophilus, the Lactobacillus, the Bifidobacterium longum, and Bifidobacterium bifidum. Due leaf bacteria embedding technology. It helps maintain the activity and survival of the bacteria because they must pass through the strong stomach acid. We all understand that, we have a very strong acid in our stomach that can kill the bacteria. So they must be able to survive this, and later on, survive the enzymes in a small intestine and finally reach of large intestine because they must be transplanted into a large intestine. And then high potency. Each box delivers 150 billion live bacteria, enhanced with prebiotics. Ingredients such as resistant dextrin, fructose oligosaccharide, and lactitol provides food for your gut microbiota. So actually, this product is both seed and fertilizer. So seed is the live bacteria. Fertilizer is the prebiotics. So prebiotics is the fertilizer and probiotics are the seeds. So these products provide you both the seeds and fertilizer. And blueberry powder and blueberry extract. We talk too much about blueberry, the polyphenols, how the polyphenols and their metabolites circulate in our bloodstream to do their job in different part of the body. It unlocks the full nutritional and antioxidant benefits of blueberries. So together, these features make blueberry probiotics a true bridge connecting your gut and your skin barrier, helping you achieve lasting beauty from the inside out. And by the way, these products are convenient to take. Enjoy it orally on its own or mix it with milk or warm water for easy daily consumption. So if you are over 30, please be aware that true beauty begins within, where a healthy gut and a balanced body naturally radiate outwards through glowing skin and the overall vitality. So I thank you very much for being with me, for these two topics. Number one is the rose played by vitamin K in our health. And number two, how to use our products to achieve beauty from inside out. So do we have any questions? I see now Malimba from Uganda. Okay, please, you can unmute yourself. Please, you raise your hand, you can unmute yourself so we can talk. Are you there? Hi. Okay, let me check what the questions. Okay, we finished this. I use recommended people, especially my patients, about importance of K vitamin. Very good. Thank you, Madam Marta. Thank you. And what can we give or recommend for adults suffering from liver fat or from fatty liver disease? This is a very popular disease nowadays, and it is a sign of the metabolic syndrome. So number one, before you recommend anything, cut consumption of refined carbohydrates. Let me put this way, all the rice, noodles, bread, white bread, and pastas cuts the consumption to the limit and completely cut the consumption of any alcoholic beverage and soda. After that, you can recommend products that can benefit the fat metabolism, deep sea fish oil, lecithin, and also if you have the products called we have two products for liver disease. One is HeptaSure. If you have in your market, HeptaSure is a very good product for helping the metabolism of liver. If you don't have, you go for Livergen. Okay. Let's see. Interesting session, but I have a question that consider maybe very close. Of course, please go ahead. Oh, for color changing skin, you mean the pigmentation? Pigmentation is a big problem. Several skin problems is caused by the pigmentation problem. To be very frank, you got to need both topic uh skincare products like of Blueberry Rejuvenating Series, and also the products I just recommend, the Blueberry probiotics. If you don't have Blueberry probiotics, you can choose any of the Blueberry products. For example, like the Blueberry Super Nutrition. And also, you know, I think Blueberry Super Nutrition is pretty good enough, plus the skincare products. Okay, the skin study more about health, we can quickly discover the weakness of our health from skin. If you shouldn't by autoimmune disease. Okay, for autoimmune disease, also some of the skin disorders are autoimmune disease. It means that one of immune system is hyper. It starts attacking of all tissues, including the skin. So for this condition, we need the immune regulator. Some of our products are excellent immune regulator, like the Ganoderma, the Cordyceps, and the Chitosan. They're very good immune regulator. So yeah, you can include those products into your package. Uh, I've had pimples under my eyes for more than 10 years. What can I do on my face? You can first use, do you have the tourmaline soap? We have introduced the tourmaline soap in some of the African regions. Tourmaline soap is very good, has very good anti-inflammatory properties. So you can use the tourmaline soap. If you don't, it doesn't matter. But remember to use the mild detergent, the very mild soap. And then, adjust your uh, lifestyle. Try to cut consumption of refined carbohydrates. I just mentioned, cut the consumption of soda, any beverages contain sugar. And also cut the consumption of refined carbohydrates, including any carbohydrate foods, rice, pasta, bread, and whatever. And then stick to vegetables and fruits. I've got to tell you, after I finish all the answering, I completely cut the, consumption of refined carbohydrate for over 1 month, and I'm doing much better. And I lost 3 kilos, which is almost impossible during the past 20 years. Uh, yeah, vitiligo is also a pigment problem. I'm so sorry, it is a genetic problem. So far, I don't see any Greenwood product can really reverse this condition. So I think, protect their skin is one of very important. Let them wear the sun lotion and take the physical protection uh, to protect their skin, because their skin is highly sensitive to the sun, especially the UV rays, and protect them with the physical shield, and also, if possible, give them some of the Blueberry products. But sorry, this condition is, cannot be helped with anything so far. Now, no medication, no dietary supplement for vitiligo. And then let's see, do we have any products for dry scalp? Most of my clients need a product to maintain their hair, but the comes dandruff, which is a night. Okay, if you have dandruff, dandruff is sign that in your body there's too much dampness and waste accumulated. So you can have a detox, very good detox, and take products that help with your digestion. Blueberry products is okay, even spirulina products is okay. As for dandruff, very good way is use of olive soap. Olive soap is perfect for dandruff. So this is a very good product. And kids tonsillitis and mucus removal. Then that kids must have certain type of chronic inflammation and very possibly allergies. So it depends on how old. So if it is very young kids, the multivitamins is good. And also the blueberry juice is good. Blueberry super nutrition is good. If it's teenagers, you can definitely add some stronger products like the spirulina and other blueberry products. Hormonal imbalance acne. So if the acne is caused by hormonal imbalance, that's the first thing we got to do is to help balance their hormone level. I don't know whether this is a man or a woman. Kidney tonifying for men and women is very good for balancing hormone, and also zinc tablets are also very good. If it's a lady, you can also add soya powder or the royal jelly to help. Okay, let's go to the next. What causes dark circles around the eyes? Oh, very good question, especially for us. With we see the yellow skin or the white people, you see very clearly. You have a dark circles. Normally, this is one of the signs that your kidney is not working. You have a weakened kidneys. So kidney tonifying for men and women plus cordyceps are very good to boost your kidney. So when we talk about kidney, based on traditional Chinese medicine, it's not only the two, the bean-shaped organs that filters the fluid to generate, urine. No, when we talk about kidneys in traditional Chinese medicine, it means urinary system plus reproductive system plus endocrine system. So kidney tonifying are perfect products plus the cordyceps. Cordyceps, nourish two channels or two meridians, the respiratory system and also the urinary system. So these two products are wonderful for the dark circles around the eyes. Someone who had car accident and she's experiencing pain in her spine. Then you got to give her products to nourish the nerve system and also for the bone repair. So for bone repair, I just mentioned the calcium compound. Or if you don't have that product, goes for compound marrow powder. Compound marrow powder is also good for nervous. And for nervous system, you go for deep sea fish oil and lecithin. So deep sea fish oil or lecithin are good for the nerves and also the vitamins. Especially vitamin B complex are essential, and vitamin A and vitamin C are essential for repairing of the nerve system. So let's see. You can give the spirulina, the deep sea fish oil, the lecithin, and also, give what I just mentioned, the compound marrow powder for recovery of the bones. Okay, Mr. Joseph, you raise your hands again. Please go ahead and mute yourself.
Right. Thank you so much, Madam. My question is, today I met a client who had what we call lenophilia, and he was advised by the doctor to start dialysis, probably after 1 week or two. And I had already started him with kidney tonifying and cordyceps, but he has other problems like the angina and the prostate issues. I was wondering, like for the issues of the heart, can I add probably cardiopa or something? Or because I fear when the kidney is to that extent to add any other product. I always give them the two products before I give them any other product. Is it wise to add probably cardio power or super Q10?
In this case, you got to be patient. First, you give him two products, and then
Yes.
also in this case, Chitosan is also very good. But after you give these two products, you watch until his body responds, and then it doesn't give him how to say, it doesn't, because they are supposed to have dialysis, and then they check all the the metabolites, sorry, electrolytes, and the doctor will check a lot of indicators, the criteria for the result of the dialysis. So you observe it. If the all the criteria or the indicators goes down, it means going to a good direction, you add one products one by one, not all of a
Oh,
sudden all the products. You can add
yeah.
number one Chitosan, because Chitosan is also good for heart. It's help the cholesterol to metabolize. And then you add
Okay.
and Chitosan can bind a lot of waste and unwanted minerals in his gut. So actually
Oh,
it can bring some of the unwanted the metabolites and waste and toxins and whatever out of the body. So actually you're helping him. So you add
okay.
first Chitosan, and after 1 month, after he finished Chitosan, and then you also ask him to show you the indicators, I mean the reports. So if the reports goes well, you can add the Q10. Q10 basically has no any side effect so far. It only boosts the energy, and our body metabolize Q10 very well. So I prefer you add Q10 first. Add
Okay.
Q10 first. After
Yeah.
you add the Q10, if the results still good, you can add
Yeah.
another products. But remember, this kind of people who have renal failure, don't give them too many products at the same time. So
Exactly.
that is why I say that, add one product, let him finish, and then you add another product. Don't let them take, let's say, 5 or 6 products together. No, they're not
Okay.
supposed to take. I think the best way is to let them take 2 products
Yeah.
together. So two,
Yeah.
after you finish the third, you add the fourth. After finish the fourth, you add the fifth.
Thank you. I also had another comment. First, I want to appreciate you so much for your sacrifice, and then I would want to say that beauty in out is across the board for men and women,
Yeah,
so that so that
definitely.
everybody so that everybody will be beautiful.
I'm so sorry that I used the photos, I used the women's. I'm sorry. It's not a discrimination of the gender. So actually, men also need very beautiful skin, very nice skin. And,
Yeah.
so definitely all these products are not only for women, but also for men.
Yeah.
So if you use, let me put this way, you can use of soap, you can use one of the skincare. You don't have to use the whole set. You can choose one or two for
Exactly.
you, especially like the toner. I think toner, to me, toner and essence are must. So I don't really use the eye cream and moisturizer. No, I don't use them. I use the cleanser. This is number one step. And after cleanser, immediately I use the toner. Because toner supplements the moisturizer to the skin. And then the next one is essence. I only use 3. I don't use 6 at all. So as a man, you also use this. And then, if you meet me this time, if you meet me because I'm going to Canada and after that I'm going to Uganda, if you meet me, you can see the change of my skin. And
Yeah.
also, well, I'm also on these products. Okay, thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you.
Okay, God bless you. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for having tuned in today's Zoom meeting. So every Friday, we are going to give you some very important and, useful practical information, knowledge, and experience to boost your business and also for you to help more people. So please make sure that you're there and invite more people, especially some people who are not yet in this business. So anyway, it's good for them to gain some knowledge. And if they like this, they will join you. They will join the company. So thank you very much. You can unmute yourself and say good night and hope you enjoy your weekend. So good night and then thank you so much. We see you next
Good night.
Friday.
Thank you so much. Good night.
Good night,
Good night.
everybody. God bless you all.
Thank you.
God bless you. Good night.
We love you. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.